Hello, hello, hello. What's good, everybody? It's Saturday, and you already know the new show is finally here, so you know we got to get into it and break it down. And the man I'm going to break it down with is the one, the only Fandom D Saint. How you doing tonight, brother?
Hey, what's good, DJ? All I'm gonna pretty much be saying throughout this entire stream was Loki didn't do it.
Loki did. It's not his fault. Don't blame Loki.
Nope. Even when they were explaining the whole Nexus event thing, I'm like, wait a minute. You're literally just plucking someone out, putting them on trial for something they really didn't do or have knowledge of.
Exactly. I'm getting some Tom Cruise vibes out of that one. Like, wait a minute, is this Minority Report or what? You can't. I don't understand it. I don't see how they can do it and get away with it. But yeah, we got to get into it. What just like overall feels for this one? How'd you feel on this one?
Man, first episode in, I said to myself, I could be high off the episode. But that first episode, probably better than a Falcon Winter Soldier first episode, better than WandaVision first episode.
What?
I was like, yo, why couldn't we
Whoa.
have this before all the other two? Like, oh my gosh, it's greatness, man. I would not be surprised if the subscriptions for Disney Plus just skyrocketed after that first episode alone.
Wow, you are super hyped on it, huh?
Like we've been waiting ever since he picked up that Tesseract in Endgame. Like, okay, where is this gonna go? And finally.
Oh man, what's up, Jake Cruz? I see you out there. What's up, brother? What'd you think of this new episode? Did you get a chance to see the new Loki yet? Yeah, I was. Man, that seems to be the overall perception. Everybody is absolutely loving the Loki and just all in and ready to go. And as usual, I'm on the other side. I was like,
Oh, say it ain't so, DJ.
help
Say
me.
it
I
ain't
was
so.
not that impressed with the first episode. I saw
Oh,
it and I was just like, huh. Yeah, and I mean, I got on and I started hearing everybody else's reactions and talking to people, and my boys were calling me like, "Have you seen it yet?" And even my parents were like, "Have you seen it yet?" I was like, "Man, I don't know. I did not have the same level. I didn't hate it. It didn't bug me. I wasn't like, oh man. It was just. It seemed like a 110% setup episode. I know it has to kind of get its feet in there and let us know where it's going. So I'm holding judgment. I'm staying neutral. I'm staying neutral. I'm not like, oh,
you are deviant. This ain't the real DJ. You stepped out of the damn time. I'm like, what is this? What is this? Normally, I'm the one, being neutral, in between this damn fence. Now, you gotta hop on my side, DJ. Hop on it. Rewatch it.
oh, oh, my man looks like he might be with me though. Looks like Celebrity Bikini says he did see it. It was good, but he wasn't in love. Exactly. That's exactly how I was. I didn't hate it, but I'm not in love with it yet. Like I said, I'm giving it a break. I know it's kind of a setup episode. It kind of needs to get its feet stuck and like get its bearings and which direction we're gonna go. But I just like 100%. Like I didn't hate it. Again, I didn't hate it. I didn't mind it. But at the end of it, I wasn't like, yeah. I was just kind of like, huh. And there's some things we need to talk about, like you were saying, like who are these people? Like, do you think the TVA are the good guys, or are they going to end up being the bad guys in this?
Are they the? It's like that one line that Loki was saying. It's a cruel, elaborate trick conjured by the weak to inspire fear, a desperate attempt at control. I think all this, the TVA, while they're like protecting the quote unquote perfect timeline, is all a hoax created by someone. So it's pretty much just like whole this was this the people are controlling the timeline because that whole verse war. I think that is actually correct about this multiverse war that happened. But because they're the winners, whoever truly won it, they're just fabricating this whole illusion.
Yeah, yeah. History is written. History is written by the winners. We know that by Game of Thrones. But yeah, it is, and I don't know. Were you getting some like Wizard of Oz vibes when you're looking at those big masks and like when
Uh,
Loki was asking oh girl like who's in charge? They're in charge, and what do you do? Well, I do their will. Like I was getting some real Wizard of Oz type vibes, like the man behind the mask.
mm-hmm. Keep on saying like, is this all an illusion? And it pretty much was that. That's my whole vibe. The moment they keep on saying time and time again, I'm like, I don't know. I don't. And then they say, oh, what the Avengers did, that was okay. What they did, I'm like, hold up.
Right?
they
Exactly.
can,
I'm
they
like,
can,
wait
they
a
can go
minute.
back in time and it'll be okay. That was all part of destiny. But no. All because he picked it up, he goes to jail. Like he didn't know he stepped off the path. Even when they
Exactly.
did the I forgot her name, Miss Minutes or whatever, that cartoon thing explaining everything, saying that once you create the next event, the TVA goes, collects you, resets time, but since you have no timeline, you're set in trial. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and then you just get erased. Like, wait a minute, hold up. You just get to erase me now? Like, whoa, how does that work? What's up, Christian O's? I see you out there. Welcome back, welcome. Yeah, I was like, what the hell? Christian says, I enjoyed first episode. Can't help but think it's going to get better with each episode. By the way, I'm drinking, FEW rye whiskey tonight. There you go. We were playing poker until about 5 in the morning, and it was a Henry McKenna night, big time. Oh, my other buddy had a big bottle of Gentleman's Jack, but I'm just not. That has a weird taste to me. I can't get into it. But yeah, so it was Henry McKenna 10, big time last night. Enjoy that rye. But yeah, I'm kind of with everybody else. I think this is going to get better episode by episode. I believe we only have 6 episodes, so it's going to have to get on it quick. But I think it's setting it right. But I just don't want too many more episodes like this one. I want things to be happening, and I want there to be some pomp and circumstance going on. Oh, we got Chris Knowles saying when Loki went to court, wasn't that Kang the Conqueror's face behind her? I've heard people
It
say that.
was. I keep on hearing that too. Oh my gosh, it's a good thing behind me. But yeah, it does, and my knowledge for him is super low. But that's what I keep on seeing every single time. Even like when we see like the murals, you see the same thing, and I'm just like, oh, they're just trying to hint like, okay, they're gonna introduce him into the MCU, and this is probably how.
Do you think we're going to get an episode from Kang the Conqueror?
I highly doubt it. If anything, it is just gonna be like a super tease. Every single episode, we see the murals or the whole Time Lords, whatever they are. It's just pretty much a tease, my guess.
When do you think we get a Kang the Conqueror? When does he make his first appearance?
Secret Wars.
Really, that far?
Yep. I'd be surprised if it's quicker. Like there's Eternal, so you never know.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, little mishap here. Just dumped coffee all over the place. So trying to get it clean and keep it moving. But hey, yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, King the Conqueror, I mean, they think we saw maybe like his little palace or whatever in Ant-Man and the Wasp. So it'd be cool to see when he actually shows his face and what's going on with it. When Loki went to court, wasn't it? Oh, yep. And yep, 6 weeks. It's going to be a quick one. What were the statue pillars? Those were the timekeepers, right?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, the Timekeepers. Yeah.
Yeah, those were the actual timekeepers, I do believe. So yeah, we got to get into it, and there's all sorts of crazy stuff going on. But my goodness, this was nuts. But I like how it opened up in 2012, New York City at Stark Tower, and I was glad like this is where it started because I've always wondered like how that worked. Like in the original Avengers, Thor takes Loki back to Asgard, but in Endgame, Loki gets taken away before Thor can take him. So I always wondered how that worked. Like that's 2 different timelines right there. They already had going, right?
Exactly. Unless it actually did happen, or just like off screen or whatever. Because they could just be like, oh, well, this kind of happened. But it was just like off screen or whatever. But now we know. They just came in, the TVA came in, reset time, and everything went back to normal, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know that. I mean, like maybe they're going to explain it by the end of this one, but yeah, I always wondered how that worked out. And like, how did Loki get on Thor's ship when he was with all the rest of the Asgardians, and when Thanos came and killed him? Like, how did he even end up on that ship with Thor and them? Like, was that a third timeline? How did that
Oh
even
no,
work?
that actually happened with Ragnarok. Like he was able to get on the ship there.
He got. I couldn't remember that. I had to go back. I haven't watched that yet, or gone back to watch that yet. But he got on with everybody on those ships in Thor Ragnarok when they all got on those ships. He was on there.
Yeah, and then Thor thought that he wasn't there, but then he like caught an object he threw at, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm here, brother."
Oh, okay, that's right. I got to go back and watch that part. But yeah, I was just like, how many Lokis have we already seen? How many timelines have they already kind of shown us in all these other Marvel movies?
But so far, we've only seen like one Loki. But hey, by the end of this episode, I'm like, you didn't show us that's the hooded individual was in Loki. So is that really Loki?
Oh, exactly. We're gonna get there because yeah, I don't know if that is or not. Absolutely, I was thinking the same thing. And why, like, I mean, if he took the Tesseract, why was it the Gobi Desert in Mongolia where he landed? Like, could
Exactly.
something as powerful as the Tesseract have a better navigational system than just dropping him off in this barren wasteland?
I thought he was gonna go into a different alien planet or just not even Earth, period, at least away from the Avengers. But like it was the Go Death. I'm like, huh, that's interesting.
Like, why? Why there? And like, this is the this is the desert. Where did that drop of water come from? And like, or was that a clue telling us that not all is what it seems right now?
Blame Wanda. Oh
So
wait, too soon, too soon.
I'm like, well, they got it. It didn't look raining. I didn't see any puddles. Nothing looked moist. I didn't see any mud. But yet we have this one droplet. Like, and it's just supposed to be cinematic and look cool, and this bug's going through it. But to me, I'm like, well, where did that water come from? Like, this is the desert. Why is there this water droplet out of nowhere? So does that just tell me this isn't really the desert, and this is all just like an illusion?
Hopefully we get more of it because it does seem like weird of all places the Gobi Desert. Unless later on we find out that there was something there this whole time.
Yeah. Christian Knowles agrees with you. He thinks Secret Wars is where it's going to come in. Where we see Kane. The Tesseract isn't the Time Stone, anyways. Well, the Time Stone's or not the Time Stone, but it is an Infinity Stone.
Or
But
is
I
it
just
the
don't.
space? It's a space stone, right? I
Right.
believe it is.
Time and space. I thought. So it's like, yeah, why? I don't
Now,
understand.
time is the green one that Doctor Strange always has.
Right. That's the Time Stone. And I don't know. Are they going to make it seem like the Time Stone is the most powerful stone out of all of them? Since
With the
this is
right person, yeah. Because with Thanos, it seemed like he was just rewinding time and stuff. But like with Doctor Strange, he's doing like X amount of stuff.
right, and it's the Time Variant Agency, and exactly, Doctor Strange is always turning back time. So why hasn't he been caught up?
Like apparently it was all part of the plan, DJ. All part of the plan.
Oh man, we did so good. 12 minutes in, and now that little antenna just popped up for the first time. But I think I have my way around that. But yeah, next time I
Huh.
should be
I didn't
totally
even like see anything or notice anything.
nice. Cool. Yeah, hopefully I'm gonna have that worked out completely by the next one. But yeah, so far so good. But yeah, that was a cool little callback to Tony shooting out of the sky, like the way Tony when he was escaping from that cave in Iron Man 1 and like blew up in the sand with all that stuff around him, and Loki kind of fell out of the sky the same way into that dune with scattered broken parts around him. My
Ah,
thing is,
that's a good call back there.
my thing was, what were all those broken scattered parts around Loki? I mean, he was just basically just him. So it was like, what were all those pieces that were? So I think it really was just a callback to that scene, but I don't understand what all that. Like, it was Iron Man's robotic parts that were around him that busted when he hit so hard. What were all those parts around Loki?
Are you trying to say Loki's a host, DJ?
He might be a Skrull. We got Secret Wars, Skull Invasion. Loki's a Skrull. Watch it. Also, like how he's laying there all covered in sand, obviously not doing well. Yet, as soon as he saw those people, he like jumped up on that rock and tried to act all kingly. It's like they just saw you laying there all sad.
Oh, I just loved it immediately. Just like back into to his role of like, I'm pretty much here to rule you.
Yeah, that just kind of shows what a joke he is right there. I mean, that just lets you know right out of the gate. Like, do not take this man seriously. And even better, he tries to act all hard against that time cop, and she just smacks the snot out of him. And like he's moving at 1/16 speed, but feeling the pain in real time. That's brutal.
I thought it was just like the camera just like did it in editing going slow motion, but then it was like actually done on purpose. Like it was, I was like, okay, so
Yeah,
these people like just know how to manipulate time.
yeah, that was pretty wild. It was like, ooh, and how can they do that? It's like, how many time stones are there? Are they all Doctor Strange's? That's just insane. I want to know why Loki thinks it's his destiny to rule Earth. Yeah, where did he? I mean, where did that thought even enter his mind? Like, why does he think he's supposed to rule?
Your adopted father is pretty much like Odin, rule of the nine realms. You're gonna have that complex. Like, wait a minute, maybe I'm destined. That's why he adopted me, X, Y, and Z, all that crap. But for a while, he always thought that that was his real father, and then he noticed, like, wait a minute, he's not really my biological father. That was like one thing that I always keep on like harping me about the episode. Like, you keep saying that, but in reality,
Not so much. Yeah, exactly. It's like
you're
you're not
a
born to
nice giant.
rule. You're the guy that's there to lose. You're that guy. You're the generals, not the Globetrotters. How durable is Loki anyway? Like for him, it was literally just moments ago that the Hulk used him like a rag doll, just smashing the shit out of him into the floor, and now he's getting smacked with his club and feeling it like amplified 100 times. Like how durable and brutal is Loki getting it?
In the words of the Hulk, puny God.
I mean, if he wasn't a god, he'd be dead after all this. I think like that man is just a whooping bag. That's crazy. Like that's what the first thing I thought of was like he literally just got the shit beat out of him by the Hulk, and now he's taking just L's to the face like this. Like that's just brutes. But how sweet was that machine with the smiley face? Loki's like, "Oh, absolutely not," and like this is fine as Guardian leather, and the machine just looks like it's pulling back, like, "Oh no!" But actually, like when the light dims, it's drawn an eraser gun that just zaps and erases all his clothes off. That was nuts.
Man, that was fine Asgardian leather right there. And just gone.
How are you just gonna zap it like that? I loved how they did that though, because they made it look like, oh no, I'm sorry, but like literally it was just another arm bringing in the gun that's just done. You know, you're done for. Like that whole thing was pretty sweet, and like how they're using like everything's like all retro, like all old school looking. Like this is a time bureau. Everything could be like all hi-fi and high def and brand new, but it seems like everything's all retro.
Speaking of time, bro, like you've been thinking of like Legends of Tomorrow this whole time watching this episode.
Exactly, time variant agency. We'll call it the TVA. Oh, but I do love some Legends. It's my guilty pleasure. He then does some more of that Fallen that he loves to do so much into another office with papers to sign. And like for every word he's ever uttered, he's got to sign a paper. Like, would you ever trust signing off on that massive of a pile? Like with, I don't know, without drinking more? I don't know. There's no way I would freaking sign off on that
I
much.
would look through all that, at least some of this stuff, to see if it's even accurate.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, he just started signing. I was like, wait a minute. And like, how long would that sign? Like, he only had to sign one time? That was kind of a weird deal. That
When
dude
did he even
awesome.
like start? Like, if it says his entire life, and he's pretty much like a god in a sense. Like, how that didn't seem like that much.
No, it should have been even more for sure. And are you signing off on goo goo gaga? Or like, do you have to sign off on like just uttered like noises out of your mouth or just words? How far back does it go? Are we like, are you signing off on things you said it as a baby, or is it just after you're 18? How does that one even work? Like, you in there?
Aha, I'm muted. I'm
There.
guessing when he's like his first words.
First words, not 18. Like you don't get off for the younger thing. Still a juvenile.
That's what I'm saying. If it's for me as a kid, then it's like should have been long, should have been more.
Oh, that's crazy. You think that worker ever sees the light of day? Like he even had a picture of his cat on his coffee cup. He doesn't look like he gets out much.
I don't know, because when he was like, "Oh, I've been born, I've been all my life, I've been behind a desk," I'm like, "Are you being like literal or metaphorical here?"
That was just insane. And what do they do with like the heavy set people that come through? Like there must be a lot of busted knees coming through the way they just drop people like that. You know what I'm saying? What if you're not in the best of shape? They're just gonna drop you down like that. You're gonna bust your knee and be all out of it. Like that ain't cool.
If anything, they can always reset you. Then up, your knees back to normal.
Yeah, there you go. So Floki's starting to lose it, and Floki he starts to. By the time he has a ticket with only two people in the room, and it's getting worse, and then we get Q Miss Minute, and like it's time for a quick lesson. What do you think about this little Miss Minute thing? Were you buying what Miss Minutes was selling? Are you buying into this sacred timeline crap?
Some parts of it, like I understand, like this could have been this multiverse war fighting for supremacy, because they've been hinting for this multiverse ever since Spider-Man. I think it probably before even Spider-Man. I think like in Ant-Man, they mentioned the multiverse, I think, or so, especially with this whole time traveling crap. So I'm like, okay, so when are we gonna finally get it? We're getting a little bit more within this episode. The whole Nexus thing, talking about, oh, once you create an Exodus event because you veered away from your destined path. I'm like, wait a minute. Why should you again go into a trial or something that you didn't know? It just seems to be unfair. And then they
Yeah.
don't even put you back into your respective role in the timeline. You just reset it So pretty much another you is pretty much created or so, or just like you're rewinded, but you yourself that deviated gets put into trial. I'm like, what? So now there's pretty much like two Lokis right now, in a sense.
Right. Yeah, that
And
doesn't make
now,
sense.
but then we hear another, and then in the episode, there's actually three Lokis. But since this whole show is rooted in time travel, is that really a third Loki, or just our second Loki, who we're now like watching right now in the future, sometime gone rogue?
Exactly. It could all be the same Loki, just on different points of the timeline. Or yeah, like you said, or is it just from different worlds and different Lokis? So yeah, they're gonna have to explain all that, and that's the problem. Once you get into time travel, anything goes. There's literally no more rules once you get into time travel because you can just say, "Oh, time travel," like, "Oh, magic." So it's gonna get. I think they're gonna tie it in pretty neatly. I think they're gonna do a pretty good job of bringing it all in and explaining it to us. But like I said, with only 6 episodes, they're going to have to get it crammed in and get it moving a little bit faster than this episode is running. But these time carps are just snatching people up and in most cases racing them out of existence, like you're saying. But Miss Minutes just said that a person could become a variant for something as simple as just being late for work. So just because I got caught in traffic, I can be snatched up and eliminated as a Nexus event.
Exactly.
Like,
And then they have to make sure that the branch doesn't go like behind that red line, because if it does, it'll then create like a multiverse.
well, then we're back into Time Wars. Yeah, exactly. Like, which timeline is going to be the
Hmm.
dominate? And that's, again, it's going to be interesting how they tie all that up and try to explain it. I can't wait. So, does the TVA have absolute power? I mean, Loki is somewhat of a god, and he's completely powerless here. So, do these people like have to answer to no one?
Fortunately, because then later on in the episode, we see like they have a whole bunch of Infinity Stones in a freaking drawer of all places. Even the way how in the beginning of the episode they just pick up the Tesseract, and I'm just like, wait a minute, y'all not like curious that much? It's like they just picked it up like, oh, it's just this thing again. Like, what's going on here?
Oh, speaking of what's going on here, like how priceless was Loki's face after watching that commercial, dude? He was just dumbstruck, just like timekeepers, you say? Like he was literally awed. That was amazing.
And
He
it's
was,
weird because him being, the adopted son of Odin, like Odin never like mentioned anything about this, like at all.
yeah, nobody's heard exactly, and that's what he said. It's like, why, if you're so powerful, why have I never heard of you? So it's like, if I've never heard of you, you can't be that big a deal. But Loki quieted down real quick when he saw that other guy with no ticket get incinerated. He's like, "Oh, wait! Oh, my ticket's right here." It's like, we
I
ain't
did
playing.
the same thing instantly. It's pretty much like the DMV in that place.
Oh, they were playing no games though. They were playing no games. Oh, but after the title page, we flash over to Owen Wilson, seemingly on a murder scene inside a church. And while checking the area, a child walks in. And going on what very little I know about this show, did you by any chance think that that little kid was like Loki transformed?
Oh, you could be onto something, DJ.
I kind of thought that was a little miniature Loki. We know he can change himself. He can change his appearance into anything he wants.
Could be, could be. And there was like another I remember in the comics, I think he like dies and gets reincarnated or something like that, and he's like younger. So hey, there could be another Loki out there.
That could be. Oh, celebrity keep bikinis with it. That's why I don't like time travel. Yeah, because anything goes. There are no rules, and that makes it kind of tough to keep up with. Is Doctor Strange a timekeeper? He's a keeper of reality. So basically, then that's my thing. Is like, why haven't the timekeepers sucked him up? I mean, he's got the Infinity Stone, but the Infinity Stones mean jack to these people. So why is Doctor Strange get a pass?
Mm-hmm.
That
And then
makes
I read somewhere that they said like they work, but not outside of their respective timeline or whatever. So it's like if they're not within the actual timeline, because it seems like this whole TVA is like in almost like in a pocket dimension or something. It's like weird.
yeah, exactly. They are their own little different dimension. So if that kid wasn't Loki, that was pretty ruthless to just take his candy away and tell him to leave. I'd be like, give him my candy back, Jack. He took his candy and told him to analyze it. I'd be like, give him my damn candy back. Who are you?
It can't even exist back in the 1500s.
Yeah, like what? Yeah, exactly. That was messed up. But back to Loki being brought before the judge, and of course he goes Loki and tries to flip the story. But what I didn't get, like what we were talking about earlier, is why the Avengers get a total pass for like totally screwing with the timeline, but Loki's on trial for it.
Timekeepers are just Avengers fanboys or something.
So is that why we didn't get an appearance from Captain America and Steve Rogers and freaking Winter Soldier? Because basically the TVA is gone and just zapped him out of existence now. He ain't living on the moon. He just gone.
Uh-oh. You could be on to something, DJ, now.
I'm
Because
telling
even
you.
then, it's like, I don't know. It's like, it has to be something where it's like, they're just picking and choosing. Is this all really illusion, as what Loki's saying? Like, why? Like, why it had to be specifically Loki? No, are they just simply just lying and they specifically just want him just to help them defeat this future Loki?
Yeah, it could all just be a setup, a ruse for that. Because, like I said, I was getting total Wizard of Oz vibes with those three big heads and her saying she does what the three heads tell her to do. It's like, I feel like in the end, the TVA is going to be shown as a big fraud.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely think that. And I like how blown away Loki is by the looks of the city outside. Like, this man lived and got raised in Asgard. Why is he so blown away by this?
I don't know. I think he probably thought it was Earth or something, I guess. Because the only thing you see is just kind of like humans or so. I don't know. Even I got like puzzled by that. He's like, "Oh, there's no magic here because there was like flying cars and stuff."
But why would he? I mean, people are flying in Asgard. Like, why would this flying? I don't know. I don't see why he was so awestruck when he was raised in Asgard and he's traveled through the nine realms. Like, why was this just blowing him away so much? Like, I didn't understand why he's so awestruck by that. That got me. Timekeepers are trying to play gods. I think they're trying to play more in politics. I think they're trying to rule it all. And yeah, why did he think it was magic? I mean, why couldn't it just be, advanced technology? Yeah, I don't know. That whole scene kind of took me out of it. I was like, what's going on with this? Why is Loki so blown away by any of this? It just thought it was weird. But Loki says this place is a nightmare, and Owen says that's a different department. Are we going to be visiting the Nightmare Realm or running into Marvel's supervillain Nightmare himself, do you think?
That'll be interesting. Dad, or he just hates his job and he just calls like, "Oh yeah, wait till I see our nightmare department."
Like that department's just a nightmare, but it's not really a nightmare. But he said that's a different department. I'll help you burn that one down. So that'd be kind of cool if we get to get any of that introduced. But Owen introduces himself as Agent Mobius, and I've heard it split so far. But as for me, I'm basically loving his role. Like, I like it. I like it. Put it on a shirt. I've had a couple of my buddies call and they said they weren't feeling Owen Wilson in this part, but he was one of my favorite parts of the show. I thought he killed it. What'd you think?
Totally agree. Owen Wilson almost anything is like he's pretty awesome.
Celebrity Bikini says I assumed it was the pillars. What, the pillars that were blowing Loki's mind, or the pillars that were making things go? Look at that. But yeah, it was just I was absolutely loving Owen Wilson in this. Like I said, a couple of buddies are like, I don't know about that, but he was one of my favorite parts of the episode. I thought he slayed in this role.
I just can't wait for him to say "wow."
Wow. That was pretty smooth when Agent Mobius said, like, let's start with a little cooperation. And Loki says, not my style. And Mobius is like, really? Even when you're wooing somebody you intend to betray? Like, he is just straight up in Loki. How does he know so much about Loki?
Well, as we see when he was pretty much interrogating him, he pretty much like I'm guessing in the back burner just like reviewed his entire timeline from start to finish. And then he even showed him certain stuff. I was like, wait a minute, is Loki actually gonna see his like demise, the end of his tale? And we pretty much got it.
Yeah, absolutely. How can you not like Owen Wilson? He's crazy, but I think it's specifically in this role, I think he's going to kill it. I think he's going to do a really good job. But Mobius straight broke Loki down to his truth. Like when he asked, like, how long has he's been there, and he said he wasn't quite sure that time worked different here. Like, how old do you think Mobius is? Like, is he possible? Like, is he possibly the immortal ancient?
The immortal agent. Oh, that's crazy.
Like, or do you think he is an immortal, or like, how old do you think Mobius is? Like the way he was kind of coy about how long he's been there and time works differently there. Like, How
That's
old
so
is
true.
this
Because
character?
again, you're dealing with the Time Bureau, excuse me, the TVA, controlling time. He has too much gray hair. It's like you can't really tell like at what point, like how long you even been working there. Because at one point you're in 2012, then we was like in the 1500s. It could be in the year 3000. It's like you to one point it'd be like, what is time? How long I've truly been here?
That's true. Yeah, kind of time, like you said, time works different here. Oh, Loki's the killer he's searching for, so that's why I know so much about him. He basically has been studying up on him, trying to catch him. I've actually heard before some people thinks that he might be a variant Loki. Think that Mobius is a Loki. I don't think that, but I've heard crazy stuff already like that going down. I think Mobius needs Loki to help him break free from the same Typekeeper's prison. Oh wow, how about that? Mobius is going to use him to try to break out of here and get out. That'd be amazing. I like that. That's pretty sweet. Welcome back, Peter Griffin, to the house, bringing the thunder. Love that. So was it the TVA that warned the Immortals to stay out of the Infinity Wars? Is that why we haven't heard about them before this?
I'm still iffy about these damn Eternals, man. Like again, like you just said, they've been going for how long? Because I do know like Thanos is like related to them, but at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, it's like still like you saw what's happening, you didn't interfere, and it's like you just that had faith in the Avengers to do something. Remember, they haven't did anything for like 5 years, was it? Come on now.
Well, maybe it was the TVA that went and told the Immortals, like, stay out of it. Things are going to work out. We don't need you getting involved. And then it comes down like, who's got more power? Who's more, is the TVA really just the top dog and in charge of everything? I just don't know if I'm buying that. But if they can just jump in at any time and snatch people up, that's pretty powerful. Like, there's no doubt
That
about
is
that.
true.
I mean, they're keeping Infinity Stones in their store in their drawers as paperweights. That's pretty powerful. But that's not really powerful if Infinity Stones don't work outside their own realm, and basically they are just worthless rocks at that point. So I don't know, which way do you look at that? But Mobius plays a reel of Loki's best hits, and this breaks Loki down even more. And I really am enjoying the back and forth of these two. Like, I know what I am, a murderer, a liberator of eyes, maybe. Like, that was so sweet. And then shows him, like, when he stole that dude's eyes. Like, that was amazing.
Yep, and the whole thing, and then just watching it, you can see like Loki just wasn't a fan of it really. And
No, of
then
course.
we reveals like it was all just an illusion, just a hunger fear.
Well, he sees it in his eyes that he's the bad guy. Everybody's the hero in their own story. And when
It's so
somebody shows it,
true.
that DB Cooper scene was a little out of left field. Like, are they just showing us that they're going to make Loki be the reason for some of the most famous unsolved mysteries of our time?
I didn't know that was an actual mystery. And
Oh,
then I
really?
remember one on TikTok and someone was explaining it. I'm like, wait a minute, this is actually based on an actual event.
Yeah, that was a real deal thing. That actually went down.
Amazing.
Peter Griffin says, Saint, you was right earlier. Loki was reincarnated after Ragnarok into younger self and set to right all his wrongs of the past.
Maybe I did call it. Aha.
I was like, wait, when did you call that one? How did I miss that one?
Oh, that's when I said like in the comics, he like does die and then he gets like reincarnated and he becomes like younger.
Okay,
So it's possible like the show could do something like that. That's if the kid is Loki.
that'd be sick. That would be sick. Even if they didn't care about the Avengers, you'd figure Thanos bringing an army to the future would pique their interest. Exactly. Like, I don't understand how he gets away with all that. Like, Steve Rogers gets to go back and then stay in his. I mean, how is that not a whole created timeline? Or is that what happened? And how did he get back to even give back Sam the Thing if the TVA did step in and intercede? Like, did they wait till after he gave the shield to Sam and like, okay, now we need to erase you? I mean, I don't know. None of that really makes sense to me.
I'm telling you, the timekeepers are Avenger fans. They allow them to go back in time. They allow Steve Rogers to go back in time, live his life with Peggy. And if he ever just like step out of line, they just reset everything. It's just crazy.
They're all just fanboys.
But hell, the moment Loki picks up the Tesseract, oh, no, go to jail.
Speaking of Peggy, when Loki was there, they brought in a woman behind him. And when I first saw it, I was like, oh, is that like a different timeline? Like they caught the female Loki? But then you got to think, and other people are talking like that might have been Peggy Carter they were bringing in.
Y'all reaching. That's what I'm saying. Every time I keep on seeing that, I'm like, y'all just reaching.
You're just reaching because we saw Peggy Carter later die. So I mean, unless that was the original Peggy Carter on her line, allowed to live it out, and this was a different Peggy Carter that was trying to live her life with Steve Rogers, and that's the one that had to get brought in and zapped out, and they zapped them both. That'd be interesting if we find some stuff like that out. That'd be crazy.
It would be, but nah, leave Peggy out of this.
Leave my girl out of it. During Loki's rant, he said, "You all parade about as if you're the divine arbitrators of power in the universe." Moby says, "We are. Is the TVA really the end-all be-all?
Nope. Y'all a facade.
They faking the funk?"
Like if like someone is controlling it out of hold up. Okay, never mind. But if they are like TVA could be ruled by someone evil, and once they overthrow them by the end of this, then they can be a good organization. But until then, something's iffy there. Something's iffy.
Could be, could be. Our man Peter Griffin says it looked like Peggy. It looked like Peggy. They had to do that on purpose.
I'm surprised you didn't say anything about Mephisto during that church scene when the kid pointed at the mirror and he saw like it's some type of devil there.
Oh, we're gonna get into it, but I think so. I mean, they had pointed like, "Yep, that's Mephisto coming in." But I mean, you had to think that's just Loki with his big horns, like he's doing. That's what they're thinking. But it could be the devil, or it could be Nightmare. And like I said, we could get a Nightmare sighting out of this. But that was so brutal. Not only does Loki realize he's not meant to rule, but it's just the opposite. He's always meant to lose so others can become their best selves. And oh yeah, you're also the cause of your mom's death. Like, oh, he just brought the zings breaking Loki down. Like it doesn't
that was
get
an old blow. He lucky it's just a chair in the room he can throw at him.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Because that was brutes, dude. Like he broke it down to the essence, and then topped it off with like, "Oh yeah, and you're the reason of your mom's death." Just ooh, didn't see that one coming because he hasn't even lived that timeline. Like he hasn't even done that. And you're saying if I go back to that timeline, I'm the cause of my mom's. Like what? Like, and how is that going to work out in the end? Like,
I don't know who was hurting more, Loki or us rewatching scenes from not Thor Ragnarok, Dark World, the worst Marvel movie in history.
far and away the worst Marvel movie for sure. But that was the one that catch a little feel on. That was pretty brutal. Oh, that was rough for sure. But Hunter B-15 burst in to talk to Mobius, but not before Loki picks his pocket for the reset clicker, and you already know it's on now. Loki heads back to grab the Tesseract, and he's already like, he's ready to just basically get the hell out of here. And when he gets to it, he finds out it doesn't even work here. They actually have a whole drawer full of the Infinity Stones, like we were talking about, and they use them as paperweights, and like that would be the ultimate mind blower. Like you think you just found a whole like store cache full of Infinity Stones and they're all worthless. Like, did you? I mean, his whole world just got turned upside down right there.
Like Thanos could have just went to the TVA, got the stones, went back out of it, and dominated ages ago.
You know what I'm saying? He could have made this a lot easier. Didn't have to go kill everybody. It's like, and I mean, how ruthless? Like the first thing I thought of is like, how ruthless is it to have a drawer full of soul stones? So you basically just went and killed one of your loved ones and then gave it up for nothing anyway. Like what? I mean, that's
But
why.
they don't even have to even do that. They could just like appear out of nowhere. Actually, no, because you have to. Unless someone else did the killing, they get the stone, then you come out of nowhere and just grab the stone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Somebody kills a loved one, and then you end up taking the stone from him anyway. So they basically just killed their loved one for nothing and don't get the stone. Like that is about as ruthless as it gets.
Tragic.
You just killed the loved one for absolutely no reason. But yeah, this actually puts Loki in awe. He asked, "Is this the greatest power in the universe?" And again, I mean, we think it's faking the funk, but it's kind of hard to argue with at this point in time. Like, who can stand up to this? They're the all powerful because they can change time, and anytime you win, you're going to lose because they'll just switch it back.
I'm just waiting for Anthony Hopkins to come out of nowhere. It's like, welcome to MCU world. That's what's pretty much happening.
He said it's all up in a theme park. How does that TVA worker not know what a fish is? Like, after realizing just how powerful this place is, Loki decides to head back to the room and watch some more movies. But, like, I don't know. First of all, how is that, like you were saying, are these people just made to work here and never get to the outside or never leave this dimension? Like, so there's no water here. This is all just in the desert. Like, why does he not know what a fish is?
Exactly, it's all an illusion. Cause like, granted, even if you don't go outside, like telling me like no one orders fish or anything, or nothing happens on your case file that mentions a fish or any
Exactly.
other type of species, it's just like, something's up.
I mean, I understand. Like, your portal starts in a desert. Like, this is obviously some dry, desolate place. That's where Loki. That's where Loki got picked up at. But again, I don't. Yeah. Why is there? How do you not know what a fish is? Yeah. Well, you're the most powerful thing in the universe, but you don't know what a fish is. That makes zero sense to me. So, like I said, Loki heads back to the room and decides to watch some more home movies. And Mobius has the happy memories all queued up, and this really gets Loki into his feels. Like, Mobius knew exactly what he was doing by breaking Loki down. Like, and again, Loki's not just some chump. Like, it would be hard to get in and break the mind of a Loki. So, how intelligent and old and like how big a deal is this Mobius character?
Unless Loki's just trolling, having them think that they broke it.
Loki's just trolling at this point. I don't
Hmm.
know. He looked pretty emotional to me. So is Mobius just breaking Loki down to his core just so he can own him emotionally? Is that what he's doing?
Pretty much, because the moment he just like went back in the room and just saw everything, that was just crazy. Like, hell of a good actor who plays Loki, because the different emotions for him just witnessing from his mother's death, fast forwarding to his father's death, then to the whole, oh, I'm still here, like see him reconcile with Thor, then to having Thanos just snap his neck. Crazy.
Yeah. And all stuff that, like, a lot of it, most of it, he hasn't lived through to see it. So how could that shape his personality when he hasn't even experienced it? Like, this is going to be wild how they try to tie all this in. That's just insane. Like, how creepy would that be to witness your own death that hasn't happened yet, and then after seeing that, like, will Loki be able to change that destiny after now that he sees it? Is he going to be able to change it, or is it like what Andy would say? Everything's written in stone. You have no free will, and there's no way to change it.
Exactly. And that's I'm still even confused by that. Because now that he saw it, once they like reset him, it's like, does he go back in his own timeline? And does he not remember everything or not?
Yeah, exactly. Do they wipe his memory? Because if not, he's definitely going to change things so he doesn't come up with the same outcome. Because nobody wants that outcome. Lots of criminals fall for that good cop crap. It weirds me out. Uh-oh. Mobius might be sentient AI. He might not even be human. He could yeah, we don't know. Yeah, we don't know what Mobius is. He's definitely something though.
He
And
could be the robot.
what's that?
He could be the robot this whole time.
Well, I mean, it was the Mobius loop that Tony Stark figured out how to time travel. And now this Mobius character is like one of the head agents in the time TVA. So, I mean, like I said, how old and how big a deal is this? How big a deal is this guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, did he put out there and made the Mobius arc, and that's like how Tony figured out how to do time travel? Why would he put it out there unless he wanted other people to time travel? And then, like, is it what you're saying? Is he trying to break his way out, or is he one of those three and he's one of the main guys just acting like something lesser than? Uh-oh, we muted again.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. I want to know what's going on with this Mobius character. How powerful is he? How old is he? And like, how much does he really have to do with everything? Because it seems like he's not just some regular agent. I think he's going to be a big deal, and he might even be one of those three other things, just kind of acting like something else.
Ah, hidden
Yeah,
in plain sight this whole time.
yeah, exactly. Hiding in plain sight. Might be written in stone in this universe, but not in another. Absolutely. They can't reset who? They can't reset Mobius. I don't know which one I was talking about. So much different stuff. But how sweet was that when Loki gave Agent B-15 a dose of her own medicine? Like, she's pretty quick to zap and reset everyone else, so it was kind of nice seeing Loki zap her around for a while.
He says Loki, but I thought that's what they were plan. Their plan was to reset him, and I was still confused by that because in the whole video they say you're gonna wait trial, but they don't explain like what happens, and then they say you're gonna be reset, and then Loki says, "Oh, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean by reset?" Now, at one point, I thought reset back into your timeline, but that's not what the video stated. The video stated that once they reset the timeline, like the whole event is reset, but you that went out of it, the deviant, you don't go in. Like you're without a timeline. So it's still weird.
Right. But, well, those are the ones that they just zap and erase altogether. But it seems like in the cartoons, they just grabbed him out of that timeline and walked him back to the regular one. So you do two.
No, they never welcome back. They just
No, remember
reset
the
the
little
whole time.
cartoons were like grabbing him and walking him back? The little yellow dudes when he went on
No,
the
they were like no, they were walking. They were like dragging him to to the trial.
Oh, but well, yeah, I guess on some of them, but on one of them, they grabbed him off that timeline, walked him back to where the timeline converted, and then let him start walking down that path again.
Because that was a timeline resetting, as opposed to the other one that stepped out of that timeline went to prison.
So yeah, the part they
Because they
didn't show.
said like, because they said like, you're without a timeline, you're gonna go into freaking the trial.
Right, and your trial is just you getting erased out of existence, basically. I don't think any variant gets to go back. They just put another in their place. Are they cloning people out there? They're just taking people from different times. Yeah, they're definitely going to have to explain a little better what's going on and how they're doing this because this is madness. But I do like how they're doing it in the little old school 50s commercials. That's pretty tight.
That or we just overthinking it.
Oh, probably, but that's a fun idea. I didn't. I did think, however, that it was about to overdo it with that button. Like when he kept messing with that Agent B-15 and kept switching her between the flashpoints. I thought like he was going to overdo it and she was like going to get stuck in between there and like just be like in flux this whole time, screaming like "Stop!"
He was enjoying the hell out of it.
I was enjoying the hell out of that. She's so quick to like erase and beat everybody else out of existence. It's like it was time for her to get a little taste of her own medicine. I love that. How did Loki end up? Oh yeah. Mobius gets back to the room and says there's nowhere left to run, but Loki wasn't running. He was just sitting there contemplating like the situation. And like they first put that collar on Loki in the desert. Couldn't he have warped himself back to that spot instead of just throughout the Time Bureau offices what he was doing?
Repeat that again?
When they first put that collar on Loki, so you know when they zap him, that's what controls it. And then he put it on Agent B-15 and he was controlling her. But they put that thing on him in the desert, and you can zap yourself back to places you've been. So why wouldn't he just zap himself back to the desert and then try to get out from there?
Maybe.
That's
Maybe
what I
he
was
didn't know the settings or something. I don't know.
He was zapping all throughout the offices and getting tesseracts and all that. But maybe he figured once the Tesseract didn't work, maybe, and who knows, maybe the Tesseract would have worked in the desert. It just doesn't work in where they were actually at because they had to walk through a little time portal to get back to where they're at. So maybe if he would have got that Tesseract back out to the desert, it would have worked. I would have at least tried. Shit.
True, because he could just put on himself, rewind himself back to the desert.
And how did he get to that desert? Like I said, I mean, I was joking earlier how the Tesseract should have a better GPS system, but like, how did when he grabbed the Tesseract, why did he end up in the Gobi Desert? Like, did someone guide him there?
It could be it, honestly. Like the TVA or Morbius could have actually directed him to that place, unless the true next event was him not going there. He's supposed to go somewhere else. And then it's not really him picking it up. That was like the whole him diverting from his path.
Or it was a scroll. So Loki finally breaks down and admits that he doesn't like hurting people. It's just part of the illusion to make him seem more powerful than he really is. And Mobius calls it a desperate play for control, then says, "Do you know yourself?" Like, how does Mobius know so much about who Loki really is? I understand you can watch tapes on somebody and see him, but like he's asking these in-depth questions. Like, I really want to know what makes you tick, but it almost seems like he already knows what makes Loki tick, and now he's just trying to make Loki admit it to himself.
See,
That's crazy. But the Infinity Stones don't work, and Loki can't use his magic. So does this mean that Infinity Stones were just magic and not as powerful as we once thought?
they're powerful. I'm guessing their own respective timeline. But just again, it's like I gotta know. We just have to know more about this whole TVA place. Like it's just again how powerful it is. That is like beyond that of the Infinity Stones.
Or does it just have like one of Agatha's hexes on it that you can't use magic here? We stole all your magic, so we have all the magic and you have none of it type situation.
Mm-hmm.
But now that Mobius has broke Loki down, he tells him he can't offer him salvation, but maybe he can offer something even better. And Loki asks, why me? And Mobius tells him that the variant that they're tracking is him. And Loki's like, excuse me? That was pretty dope. that was amazing. I love that ending like that. But then it jumps back to Salina, Oklahoma, 1858, and another crew of TVA agents have tracked another scene, and they smell oil and just figure someone found themselves a time machine and went back to get rich. But as they're getting ready to set the charge to clip the branch, one realizes that someone else is there. And that someone else was playing no games. Like they hold up a lantern, kind of like they're going to guide the way, but then drop it just to set the whole field ablaze. Like whoever that was must have been pretty quick because the one agent still tried to crawl back to reset the bomb, but got dragged back, like, and assumedly died. So we were just talking about this earlier. Do we think that was a Loki variant that did that, or do we think it was someone else?
If it was truly Loki, they would have just showed us, yeah, actors playing Loki was doing this. But for us to just see just a hooded individual, I don't know. And now I'm thinking about it, I'm only surprised if that's a Loki from a different universe. And then I'll go back to us from they said earlier, oh, it's supposed to be like one timeline. No, it's probably multiple timelines right now. And that's just one of the Lokis escaping. And before we know it's just that, I remember one person said this, where it was like that Loki figured out that there's other multiverses. He just wants to be, he or she just wants to be like the only Loki, and they're just doing a whole bunch of other stuff. I don't know.
So
Oh,
you think this is a there can be only one type situation?
yep. That as well as when Morpheus was saying like, oh, if you rule Earth, what's next? Then Asgard, the other realms, and he said, oh, want to do it bigger, space, or maybe just all the multiverses.
I mean, that's just insane. I mean, different timelines, multi timelines, multi multiverses, multi variants. Like, where does it end? Like, this is gonna get
Get
so
used to it.
convoluted. It's
That's why
gonna
it's
be crazy.
called Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, that's gonna be insane. I think
They're really preparing us for this.
well, that could be it. It could be the greatest setup ever. I think that time grenade destroys the entire timeline. That's why someone taking it at the end mattered. Oh, of course, absolutely. That's how they clip branches. I don't think they can travel to Earth without those little lanterns. Oh, you think they need? Oh, the little lantern like that. I think those little lanterns are just the time bombs that, like I said, clip the branches.
I
Oh,
agree with you there, celebrity. He didn't just kill them, he took that time grenade. I think he
right,
wants you to destroy
exactly.
the time keeper's preferred timeline. That too.
You could, you have to go kill a different timeline, take care of something else. I like that. The other Loki is manipulating some strings as well. They need this Loki to be where he is right now. Loki's master plan. Oh, so you think Loki put this Loki where it is, and maybe that's Loki who sent him to the Gobi Desert to get taken by the time TVA. I like
And
that.
it's weird though, because if it's quote unquote Loki that they're after, the moment they saw him in that Gobi Desert, why weren't they on like high alert? Like, oh my gosh, this is, the one that we've been looking for this whole time. But they weren't. They just treat him like a regular deviant.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be Loki doing it all. Like you said, he didn't just kill him, he took the time grenade. He wants to destroy the timekeeper. So basically, I mean, it's the god of mischief. This could just be Loki trying to get the timelines back fighting each other to where how they were originally. Because basically whoever's in charge of it now is the one running it. We don't know if he's a good guy or if he's got a good plan. He could be doing some evil stuff that Loki figured out about. So Loki's trying to disrupt it and get it back up so a different timeline like takes hold and takes charge.
A timeline where he doesn't die.
Exactly.
The preferred one where he ends up dying.
And maybe that's the whole thing. Maybe he's trying to get one where his mother doesn't die and he doesn't die. So he's out there trying to switch the timelines up so that doesn't happen. I could absolutely see that. I love that. I love the direction we're taking this now. I like that.
So now do you like the first episode?
I knew once we talked about it, it'd get better. Absolutely. And I got to admit, like I watch it because, I always watch it just for, fun. And then I rewatch it again to write out the outline on it. And when I was writing the outline and getting more, I was liking it a little better. Like I said, I didn't hate it. I just didn't love it. Like I'm ready to see
Get on my fence, DJ.
Right. I'm on that fence. I got to see where it takes me from here. I've made no judgments yet. Didn't Mobius say that they have been doing this over and over and over again? And that's the beauty of being in the TVA or being able to disrupt time. You could do it and mess up 1,000 times until you get it right because you just reset the timeline, right? And if they can do it, like, why are they allowed to do it so many times? And again, why is Doctor Strange allowed to do it so many times? Like, why haven't they jumped on him and been like, oh, you're bad, but, oh, you're a timekeeper, so I guess we'll allow it? Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
If I don't see Kevin Feige as one of these timekeepers, they've missed it. They missed it. If Stan Lee was still alive, oh, God rest his soul, he'd have been one of the timekeepers. They have someone else as one of the timekeepers. I don't know who.
What do we think what do we think of the TVA? Are we considering them the good guys or just as shady as Loki at this point?
Whoever is truly behind the TVA is shady. But they must have like someone as well in on it on the inside. Probably the one who was on doing the trial thing, who was like the judge. She's probably shady. But like everyone else is
sounds like her and Mobius are a thing. So I mean, they were pretty flirty together. So I mean, is she a lot older than she seems? Again, we know time works differently here. You get sucked into this place and just never age again because of the way time works. Like, yeah, we need to know how all that stuff works.
Mm-hmm.
Did Thanos realize, like, through the Infinity Stones that there were, like, multiple versions of himself? Is that why he allowed himself to be killed so easily? Because he knows there's another one of them out there somewhere?
Nah, you're reaching.
You don't think so? I mean, he didn't have any protection. He didn't have any systems. He was like, he just let him walk right in and chop his head off. So I think, like, maybe that wasn't even the real Thanos. Like, the main Thanos is still out there just doing things with his Infinity Glove, and he knew about this other place, so he set it up so the Avengers would kill him, get off his back, and he's still out there living his best life.
Nah, at that point in time, when he was making the soup, chilling on that planet, he was smiling. Like, he pretty much did what he had to do. He welcomed death.
I don't know. Go for it. I mean, yeah, I figure you kill half the universe, you deserve to die, but I don't know. It reminded me of what Wanda was doing on a grander scale. Yeah, exactly. Taking it to the next level, for real.
Speaking of WandaVision, like, one of the commercials had the Nexus there on one of the items. I think it was like some type of like medication or whatever, a painkiller, whatever, for headaches.
Mm-hmm.
And when he passed it said Nexus. So now I'm thinking, like, did Wanda deviate from her destiny?
Yeah, was this a Nexus event? But we know she is. She's what Nexus or whatever. She's the same in everything. Not Nexus, but
she's the Scarlet Witch, can do like practically almost untold things.
Well, she's the same across all multiverses and timelines. She's the same person. Like, there's only one of her. So that's kind of, and that's the other thing. Like, to explain that, like, is there only one of her and she's the exact same in every timeline, or is there just her that lives through every timeline? Like, it's only her. That's another thing we need to kind of explain. Most of the timekeepers can see the future, manipulating a preferred outcome. Well, that's what they're trying to do. We just don't know if that's the right thing they should be doing, and is that a good thing or a bad thing? They aren't allowing free will. They aren't good, even if they believe it's the best policy. Exactly. They're trying to do what they want, not what everybody else wants. Thanos didn't care about anything but destroying half the universe. Exactly. I mean, exactly. Why not? I mean, if you don't have enough supplies and you have the glove, why not just make more supplies? You don't have enough space, why not make more space? Like, make more of what you need. Why kill off half the universe unless you're a sociopath?
Yeah, I
No.
remember seeing a video where they said that during the process of like people were returning to dust, like more people probably died during that moment because like airplanes have people gone. It's like, hold up,
Yeah,
who's driving
exactly.
the plane?
Yeah, exactly. People are driving now. The driver's to dust, and you're doing 60 down the highway. Those people all got it. So yeah, exactly. It was gnarly.
Unless magically the stones actually killed the people who could have possibly died, then okay, they got us there. But still, I don't know.
Me either. They got a lot more to explain, and I am here for the ride. I am definitely excited, and I can't wait to see where they take it from here. So that's going to do it for us. I hope everybody's having an absolutely fantastic week, and it only gets better from here. And let's keep it up. Can't wait to see where we go with this new thing called Loki. We'll see you soon. See everybody on Tuesday, everybody. Be easy.